Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting evening with our Ruseas Brosis Foundation Empowerment Night. And tonight we are delighted, absolutely delighted, to have with us someone we have been searching for a long time to schedule this appointment for. We have no other than Miss Camille Lowen, who in her own rights have established a fast track that we are proud to celebrate tonight. So Camille, how are you doing?
I am good, Mr. Dunkley. A bit nervous, but I'm good.
Well, guess what? This is your moment. This is your time. You can relax because there's nothing here that is going to make you uncomfortable. Everything that we do is going to be based on what you're comfortable with. First, I want to tell you that I love that royal backdrop. You know, are you sure you're not a part of an empire or something? Is there something that you need to tell us up front? Because this majestic backdrop you have there tells me something. Are you holding out on us?
Nothing to tell, Mr. Dunkley. Absolutely nothing to tell.
Wonderful, wonderful. So just to start, I want to let you know that there are two key reasons for our Empowerment Night. We strongly believe in celebrating our own. And Ruseas as a legacy. And individuals like yourself represent a part of that continuing legacy that Ruseas has created. And as a foundation, we believe that we should celebrate what has been accomplished and what is being accomplished as we speak. So that said, we're here to celebrate you. You might be wondering why. Because we're proud of you, period. We're absolutely proud of you. We're here to talk about your journey, where you're coming from, where you are, and where you're going, and also to provide an opportunity for those who are unsure of what lies ahead for them, especially those who are at school right now, those who are in the valley of decision, those who are questioning their worth or if there's a future for them, that somehow, some way in our conversation, in our dialogue this evening, they might find hope. They might be encouraged, they might be inspired to reach a little further. So that is really where we are. We are here to celebrate you and also to provide an opportunity to inspire those who are coming behind. Is that okay with you?
Certainly, Mr. Dunkley.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Ruseas Brosis Foundation is like no other. It's unique, it's full of energy, it's full of fire, and it's also full of action. We want to make an impact along with the other organizations that are associated with Ruseas. We have a unique angle that we're taking, and this Empowerment Night is one of those. But in order to appreciate where you are now, I want to take you back a little. Could you share with us your early experience in school, your elementary school experience? What was it like? Where are you from originally? I'm going to tell you you come from Kingston, because everybody come from Kingston. Where are you?
Not this time, Mr. Dunkley. I am from Logwood in Hanover, way down Hanover.
Okay. How far is that from Lucy?
That's 16 miles. That's what we were told when we were going to school. That's 16 miles out of Lucy.
Okay, got you. Were you able to take one bus to get to Ruseas, or did you have to take more than one vehicle to get to Ruseas?
Oh, all right. So in the earlier years, it used to be walk foot to Orange Bay, and then to get a bus to Lucy. But then as the years roll around,
just hold 1 second. We have a guest, Julia Jackson. She's actually coming on the YouTube. She should be going on. She's coming on the... Julia, do you know Julia? Julia should be going on the YouTube channel because the Zoom is just for the two of us. Okay, hi Julia. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue where we are. So you say you had to walk to Orange Bay.
So we used to walk to Orange Bay, but as things progressed, then we used the taxis come around, and so we no longer walked. So it was like two vehicles to get to school daily.
So what was the walk like? How far was that distance? Or how long did it take to walk to Orange Bay?
It was far, but we walked in group. So it wasn't, you know, so as bad as it is now, you know, because you're walking and you're talking.
Yes,
so, you know, the journey is not as long as it is when you're walking and talking.
Yes, the way you're saying it, you're not telling me how long. I'm curious to know how long. That walk was how long to Orange Bay? Approximately. 20 minutes, 15 minutes?
It's longer than 20 minutes. It's longer than 20 minutes.
Now?
It is longer than 20 minutes. Certainly in the mornings, the walk is, we get to Orange Bay quicker than when we are going home in the evenings, because we usually stop at every shop you can think of. Let's just say sometimes we didn't pay any fare, right? So we saved the money, and we'll stop at every shop. But the walks in the mornings was okay, but it was not as long as what we used to do in the evenings, because we had to stop.
You know, I asked you that question because I'm from Lucy, and I'm told that there are individuals taking cars from downtown Lucy to go up to Lucy Primary School. And that bothers me. And I'm just trying to see if it was something similar to that. From downtown Lucy to Lucy Primary, walking should be about 12 minutes, maybe. And people are taking taxis to go there now from downtown Lucy. I couldn't believe that, but that's what I'm hearing.
Mr. Dunkley, walking from, taking a taxi from downtown Lucy to Lucy Primary.
Yes.
I can agree with that, because I mean, remember, there's a steep hill there, Mr. Dunkley.
Good for the heart. It's good for the heart.
So anybody who would want to take a taxi up, I can agree with them.
Okay, all right. So Logwood Elementary School, which elementary school did you go to?
So I started out at Marchtown. It's a Seventh-day Adventist school.
Okay.
And then for grade 5 and 6, I went to Lucy Primary.
Really? From Logwood? Wow.
Yes, Mr. Dunkley.
Wow. So you, from primary school, you have been traveling, mercy.
It has been a journey. It has been a journey.
Yes. So you were very costly as a student. You were very expensive. My goodness. Wow. Now, it's a
sacrifice. I think it's a sacrifice that my family put into education.
Yes, and rightfully so. So, in terms of your early teachers, you know, whether it was in Marchtown or Lucy Primary, name 2 or 3 that come to memory right now for you. Okay, Ernie.
2 or 3.
Ernie's coming on. Ernie, would love Ernie.
Ernie's my brother.
Your brother. I would love him to go on the YouTube channel so we could have this platform just for the 2 of us.
Okay.
Yes. If not, then you can just mute your phone and get onto this one if you're not if you can't get on the channel. Okay? Because we want you to share this experience, because this is a family thing. Ruseas family and also the Lewin family, okay? Thank you so much. So back to that question.
I'll go to the YouTube, right? Okay.
Thank you. Yes, Ruseas Brosis, yes. Good. Talk to me now. You were mentioning teachers that have played a role in your journey, early years. That stand out. Yes.
So in grade 6, that would be Mr. Dorman and Miss Little.
Wow.
Yeah.
How so?
It's interesting, you know, that when the transition was made from Marchtown,
yes,
it was in an attempt to give me a chance at taking the common entrance exam.
Okay.
Right?
Got it. Yes.
So, and I tried it in grade 5, and I can tell you that I think the only thing I wrote on that exam paper was my name. That was in grade 5. I think I had an anxiety attack because I was sick all through the exam. And so I had to do grade 6. And I think the experience, because I was fresh going into Lucy Primary at grade 5, that's where I started. So I did not get that amount of exposure, I'm thinking now.
Yes,
and
yes.
So I was better prepared in grade 6.
Okay.
And there it was.
Beautiful, beautiful. So go back to prior to grade 6. So that would be in Marchtown.
Grade 5, it was Mrs. Brown, and there was a teacher, I think she was Miss Lyle.
Okay.
I think that's Miss Lyle, right?
Wonderful, wonderful. Just so you know, we have 2 individuals. We have Carlene Stewart, welcoming you to the platform. She's very appreciative of the fact that you have graced us with your presence. And that's nice. And then we have
tried to reach me from.
Yes. Then we have Lloyd Campbell giving a shout out to the Brosis family. Lloyd Campbell is also on, just checking in, just sharing. There are other individuals on, but 2 individuals have commented so far.
Okay.
So you came to Ruseas, what year?
1983.
How did it feel to get to Ruseas? Because part of your strategy to go to Lucy Primary was really to head to Ruseas. How did it feel when you got there? How did you feel?
Whoa. I think I was anxious because now I'm in high school. But one of the things that I was not prepared for was that you think you have a good knowledge base, but when you get to a school that has children from other areas, and you're pushed in a class, then you realize, hey, you're dunce, man.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
Right, because I think I was a very good student up to that point, and my first exam I came like 22, like 22. But you had students from all over the parish, and I think we underestimate what is coming in from the feeder schools.
Got you. Are you saying that they were placing you when you came to Ruseas in '83? I thought they had stopped doing that when I was there.
No. I remember clearly, and the second exam, that was the first exam, and the second one, I think I came either 18 or 17, but it was still up there.
Really?
It was still up there.
I think they had reintroduced it because when I was a student at Ruseas, they used to post it on the board so everybody could see who was first.
Oh, okay.
All the way to the end, last. So we could actually tell who came last in my class of 42. Yes, it wasn't nice. And I was not in the top 10 in the beginning. Okay, so
I know have something in common.
Yes. I was in the 20s for the first one, but I moved up. Okay. But wonderful. Looking back at Ruseas, you spent how many years? 5 years at Ruseas?
5 years. 5 years.
5 years. How would you summarize those 5 years?
I don't want to say disappointed, but I think I missed a lot of opportunities.
Yes.
I missed a lot of opportunities because I can tell you it was not an easy journey.
Yes.
Right? We were having family worship. I think it was on Friday night, and we're talking about our journey as a family. And when you talk about rags to riches.
Yes.
Right. And
claim it.
Right. But then my siblings were saying, it's not always rags to riches, because it was riches to rags to riches.
Wow.
Because life was not always like that. So my father left when I was very, very young.
Yes.
So whatever information I have, I would have gotten from my siblings. And so whatever I'm saying is from what they're telling me.
Yes.
Right. So it was a struggle. It was a struggle, I might say. And I think because of the struggle, I think I was probably defined. Right. And I'm telling Mr. Dunkley and the viewers, I hold no malice. I hold no grudge, because I think the struggles are what propelled me to be where I am, right? The only thing is that maybe I would have, I'm not saying it was that way, it was designed that way, but things might have been different were I given the opportunities those years, right? So I'm talking about being poor.
Yes.
I'm talking about being poor.
Yes.
And, you know, sometimes you wonder why life is the way it is, or why life was the way it was. But then I'm not the kind of person that cry over spilled milk, right? It's gone. And I use it as a stepping stone to get where I am, right?
Yes.
So for instance, I can remember, I don't know if my sister remembers this, but there was one sports day, and we were not, well, the only way we could have gone to sports day, because my mother did not have the financial ability to send us. And I mean, everybody had their money to buy things, and me and my sister carry our lunch to sports day. I can't forget it, but it was just the way, you know, just for us not to feel left out. But those are some of the things that we had to do to survive, right? But it has not made us any worse than we are.
Beautiful. By the way, I just want to encourage those who are on YouTube, please post your comments. Don't hesitate. We have here Sylvester Carrington.
That's my brother-in-law.
He's saying,
I can tell you, Mr. Dunkley, my entire family is there.
I wanted that. I really wanted that to happen. We want that, and I want them to post things. Don't be afraid. We have, this is, I can't put P-A-R-C-I-A-H.
Parsha, that's my cousin.
Parsha Mabi. Yes.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Beautiful. Congratulations to my little big cuz. So proud of you. Absolutely. And of course, Sylvester is saying a well-deserved honor. Absolutely. We share those sentiments, and we're so delighted. We want this to be, you know, as I said to you in messaging, you know, many times we hear some things about people when they can't hear. And we don't believe that. Those days are long gone. We believe that while you can appreciate the appreciation, now is the time for us to give that, to let you know that you're a trailblazer.
Thank you so much.
What you have accomplished is no ordinary feat. And we'll talk about it some more, but I need you to recognize that you are in a very small bubble in terms of what you have accomplished, especially with the odds that you had to overcome. So with that said, I want to say to you that I'm very excited that you have a very supportive group of siblings. The fact that your brother is on, your sister is on. Now you have 2 brothers, is that correct?
I have 4 brothers.
Oh, 4. Okay.
But I think on this link tonight, you'll probably see just 1.
That's okay. And this is going to be available.
But my sisters are there, somewhere there, and my cousins.
I met Lilith tonight. So Lilith is on, yes. And then of course you have Sylvester's on. Okay. And Troy, our president, you know, I have to share, he's the president, he's the boss, I'll let you know. It says, good evening, Ruseas, Brosis, and viewers from around the world. We want to welcome Ms. Lowen to Empowerment Night. It's a pleasure to have you be our special guest tonight. Just want to let you know, that's the president speaking.
Thank you, President Choi. Thank you so much.
Yes. So let's get back to you. If you were given the chance to do high school once again, what is it outside of the finances that were a challenge? What is it that could have made a difference if circumstances didn't limit your options? What could have made your pathway through high school much more manageable? Because it was a challenge. It was difficult.
It was.
What could have?
Outside
of the finances.
I would want to have a say in my vocation, you know.
Okay.
I'm not certain what happens now,
yes.
But certainly in 87, 86, 87, thereabout. I think we were pushed, and I'm saying that, and I like I say, I don't want anybody to feel offended, but this is one of the things that we need to be careful of how we channel persons, right? Because you have to be a guide for them, but at the same time you have to allow them to have a say in their outcomes, because what you will eventually have happening is that persons will end up frustrating themselves and frustrating others, because you're put into something that you do not want to do, so you don't give it your all.
Got it. You remember, I think you had mentioned that you had been placed in food and nutrition.
Yes.
And that wasn't something you had an interest in, am I correct?
Oh no, I still don't have an interest in food and nutrition, and my family and my friends will tell you that.
Yes, but that's a very important point. That's a very, very important point, because
it's not some place that I like right now. But so I wanted to be a secretary.
Yes.
I really wanted to be a secretary. There was the secretary at Lucy Primary. I think her name was Miss Samuels. I don't know if Richard Johnson is online. He can corroborate that for me. But and there was when she was running those test papers for Miss Enid, I remember the smell of the ink on the paper on that just at the machine.
Yes.
You know, and then she used to dress nicely, and I just wanted to be a secretary. Even for that, I wanted to become a secretary.
Wow.
Right. So that's where I developed that passion.
Yes.
But when I went to Ruseas, of course, I did not know what were the requirements. So of course, going into Ruseas, you're going to know research, or you're expected to be guided along that path.
Yes.
Right, but that option was not given to me, right? So I was placed in food and nutrition class. I don't know what I was doing there, but that's the way you're bound, you obey.
Understood.
Of course, there are times when I would go down to the cosmetology room with Mrs. Morant and spend some time there with my friend, because really I had no real interest. But when I realized that it was coming up to 11th grade and I had to settle down, then I realized I had to give it my all. Understood. And so I did what I had to do.
You know, I just want to pause right here. You have just made a very important point. And when we put students in vocation or in career paths that they have absolutely no desire, no interest, then we end up, doing a great injustice, because it's a fact. It's a fact.
It is.
It is a fact, and we have to face that and hope that that is not something that is practiced now, because that would still be an injustice that's being perpetuated. So we are hoping that that's not happening, because I hear what you're saying, and fortunately for me, we chose the subject that we were interested in. If you're interested in science, you go science. In arts or business, we were able to do that. But I can only imagine how traumatic that would have been, to be placed in something that you have no desire to do. That could be a demotivating factor. So yes, point made, yes.
I just to add, I was speaking to a colleague, Don Dawes, because I really wanted to get a better understanding. I wanted to find out if I was the only person that it happened to.
Okay.
And of course, you know, Dawn is a teacher of English language. And
Yes.
when I was speaking to her, she said, oh, she was pushed into food, clothing and textile. No, imagine Dawn in clothing and textile. So these are the things. If it is that it's you're supposed to be working towards your career path, then certainly at that age, it's something that you need to be guided towards, right?
Yes.
Because it's preparing you. It's supposed to be preparing you.
Yes.
For the world of work.
Correct. Correct. Well, let me say this. I spent 5 years at Ruseas, and I've never spoken to a guidance counselor. So I hear what you're saying, and I hope that that's not the situation now, because my time is way back, you know, before Moses was a boy. So I hope things are different now. But fast forward. So your early years were not clear in terms of a career path, because you were not in an area that you're interested in. And again, it was interesting that you saw business, you saw the work of a secretary, and that's something that fascinated you, but you weren't able to pursue it while you were in school. What happened after you left Ruseas?
All right. After I left Ruseas, I'm smiling now because it wasn't until in the later years that I realized that, hey, you could have done more than 3 subjects, because pretty much that's what I was, that's all I could afford to do at the time. So I did biology, food and nutrition, and English. And when I say English language, I'm talking about basic English language, right? I don't know anybody who does basic English, but I know the day of mock exam, I was not at school, and I was given basic English to do. And so what can I do? I do my basic English. I did my basic English, and yeah, I passed it, but it's not something that you want to tell anybody that you did basic English, right? And I don't think that it's because I could not manage general English. But like I said, I was absent from mock exam, so that was what happened. That was the hand that was given to me.
You know, let's pause 1 second. What you're sharing is important in terms of context, because look at where you were then and look at where you are now. That's why I say to you that you're a trailblazer, and your path didn't start smooth. That's why what you have accomplished is so significant. Before we go any further, I want to acknowledge the fact that Julia, well, Ernie is on this. It says, enough away. Yeah, which I love that. And then Julia is saying, it's not where you're coming from, it's where you're heading to. With God, all things are possible. God bless. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's not it. Then Denise Lewin, proud of you, my sister. I remember the lunch, sissy. Beautiful. Then we have, what's this? Keroja. Good night, welcome, Miss Lewin from Kin. Okay, I know the print is a little small, but anyway. Oh, Dervin Nesbitt. Dervin is here. Congrats, neighbor. Okay.
That's my neighbor.
Beautiful. Collis Lawson. So I'm glad these individuals are able to be a part of this. Collis Lawson, I'm so proud of you.
Collis is my best friend, yeah.
From another mama. Nice, nice. Okay, Sonia C. Good evening. Congratulations, Camille, on your academic achievements. That's Sonia Cameron. Okay. And Priscilla G. Congratulations, Auntie Rose. Proud like wow. Yes. So individuals are
I
actually.
told you that my entire family. I have a squad there, Mr. Dunkley. I have a squad.
This is what we want, okay? We want them to be a part of this because this is a moment, not just you. You see, what happens is your legacy impact others.
Right.
And you're taking a torch, but that torch doesn't represent just you. It represents a whole heap, including us from Ruseas, not just your family, but all of us sharing that journey. So you happen to be fortunate to have siblings who were doing positive things.
Right.
Share with me something about your siblings. I think when we're talking on the phone, you had mentioned having brothers in college while you were in high school. Is that correct?
Right. So
and that's a big thing because many of us, we are the first to ever go to anything after high school. So for you to have somebody in your family so close, siblings so close ahead of you, you had an advantage, even though circumstances were tough. I just want to put that out there so you know that they, because of what they did, will impact you directly and also indirectly.
right.
So share with us what was going on with those ahead of you.
All right. So you asked before what happened after leaving Ruseas, right?
Yes.
And so I started by saying that I did my 3 subjects, but what happened is after graduation, the thought of going further was not at the forefront of my mind at the time because I had 2 brothers at West Indies College and my sister graduated 2 years prior. And so I would have to wait my time, right? Because my sister was out there waiting to go in because it's like room for rent, one run out, somebody else run in, right? Nice. So I had to wait my time. So
yes,
it was not the thought of going further. It was not there at the time. So the next best thing was to get a job.
Got you.
And of course, coming from deep rural Hanover, jobs are few.
Yes.
And so my first job, having graduated high school, was in a bag juice factory.
What kind of factory?
Bag juice.
Bag juice.
Bag juice. Yes.
Pop story, give me. Yes.
Yes. Wow. That was my first job. I worked in a bag juice factory. And when I tell you that area between your forefinger and your thumb,
yes,
I think sometimes that area is strained. That area here, because you have to use both fingers to pry the bag apart to pour the juice in.
Yeah.
And so when you go home, you have to be exercising them.
So you're a bag juice specialist.
I'm a bag juice specialist. That's what I had to do.
Nice.
But I had a greater plan, right? And your situation does not determine your destination. And that's my firm belief, right?
Beautiful, yes.
And so I had to seek employment wherever possible because now with siblings in tertiary institutions,
yes,
then there is added pressure on somebody. So you have to do what you have to do to survive.
Right. Yes.
Of course, after the bag juice factory, then as small as I was, I used to do domestic work. I washed and I cleaned for people.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And I remember one of the days, I think it brought tears to my mother's eyes, when she saw it. But there were 2 persons in the community that I used to wash for. And I mean, when I say wash, I go to river. Nice. And so I would wash one day for one person.
Yes.
And 2 days time, I do the other person. Yes.
Got you.
These things, they make you stronger.
Yes.
They make you stronger.
Yes.
Because like the person said before, it's not about where you're coming from.
Correct.
But it's a means of survival. I had to survive.
Absolutely. And you did it the honest way.
I did it the honest way. right?
Beautiful, beautiful.
And there were days, I remember, there were days my neighbor had a chicken farm, and my mother and myself, we used to go there and we used to help her to kill the chicken. And of course, our pay was one chicken and the chicken gizzard and the liver and the feet.
Wow.
But that was, but you know, I have no regrets.
No,
I have
absolutely
no
not.
regrets because it was honest. It was an honest dear bread.
Yes, yes. And this is after high school, correct? The chicken
And this
farm
is
thing.
after high school. So
Powerful, powerful.
right.
Yes.
So after my sister left for Sam Sharp, because my brother now would have left West Indies College.
Yes, yes.
And so my sister went into Sam Sharp, and
Wow.
then so I was moving up, right?
Yes.
And after she left Sam Sharp, then I was given an opportunity now to go to Fitzhenley Secretarial Institute, because now I am where I wanted to be, because now I know I would have done my research and see where it is that you know, where I'm supposed to go.
Yes, yes. So slow down a little bit. For these transitions to occur, your sister going to Sam Sharp and you now going to Fitz, and these
siblings.
These are siblings coordinating, strategizing. That's what it is?
Yes.
No, that's amazing. That's
pouring
amazing.
financial support there.
No, that's amazing.
There really wasn't anything really, because my mother was like, when I say I remember I told you that we're coming from riches to rags to that sort of a thing, because
yes.
When my father left, she had to seek employment as a helper in, well, it was in Negril. So she would go down to Negril. But of course, whatever she was getting, I don't think it could have taken care of everybody. So siblings were just chipping in, and you had to do what you had to do.
That's beautiful. No, that's beautiful. I just want to pause right here and just commend your siblings for holding the family together, because that's power. Many families don't have that. Many families is that every man for himself. But I'm hearing something that is unique, and I want to celebrate that. The fact that those who went ahead did not become selfish, but remembered those who were coming after. That's powerful.
Right.
That is powerful, and I want to highlight that that is not small. That's what you know. But for me, looking on, it's big, it's huge. And I hope others listening to stuff like this can say, wait a minute, how could I help? Forget about what is gone, past is past. But how could I help someone who is coming behind me? You know, how could I make a difference for somebody coming behind me so that the family can be strengthened? Keep going. So here it is now. You're now starting to pursue the dream of being a secretary. Isn't that what I'm hearing? Yes.
So that was 1990. I went to Fitzhenley in 1990, and I did 2 years. I did a secretarial diploma. That was I left 1992.
Yes.
I did not know anything about a typewriter, because that's the first time I would have been on one.
Wow.
But at long last, I was able to pursue my dream of becoming a secretary.
Yes.
That's my first love. That is my first love.
Yes.
So after 2 years, I left Fitzhenley. I was able to type at 60 words per minute. And I do shorthand dictation at 110 words per minute.
Whoa!
Yes. I don't because what with technology now, I don't know what is happening, because I would ask somebody, how much words per minute do you type?
Don't know.
And they don't even know how to count that out, but here I am.
Wow.
So after Fitzhenley, I couldn't get employment. And so I had to go back to Lagoon.
Wow.
And the job hunt started again in earnest, and my sister was living in Montego Bay at the time, and everybody was putting out their feelers to see, you know, where a job was available.
Yes, yes.
And I got a call. That there was a vacancy with the Morgan Group of companies. So Morgan Group that had thrifty car rental, Sun Holiday tours. I don't, you know what I'm talking about. There's a Texaco gas station, Hankook Tires. So, right. So that's where I was working. Of course, well, I got the opportunity to work there, but no, the decision was, do I take it? Because I don't have accommodation in Montego Bay. My sister was living with friends. And so I had to make a decision. Do I take it, or do I try something else? Because I think I would have sent out all the application letters possible to hotels in Negril, but they simply were not taking anybody.
Wow.
So what I did the unthinkable. I don't think anybody would do it now, but I traveled from Logwood to Montego Bay every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow.
Because I wanted the experience, because I realized that everybody wanted you with experience and that you don't have. This job was offering me an opportunity to get that experience, which I needed. Right. And so I had to grab it. Gotcha. Of course, the pay was, I remember the pay clearly, it was $2,600 per fortnight. $2,600 per fortnight. And I used to borrow money from my mother to go to work. And I think she was probably thinking that maybe this don't worth it after all. But it's one of the things that I do not regret having done. And I encourage persons to volunteer, because that's probably the only way you will ever get the experience that employers require. Yes. And so I am, because $2,600 is probably volunteering still when you look at it, because at the end of the day you have to be borrowing money to go back to work.
The stipend, but it was worth it. Yes,
it was worth it, you know, because after that I had something else to put on my resume, because I now have experience. And so after a few months in, my sister decided that we need to get a place together. And this is where this struggle began, because of course, I was no longer traveling from Logwood to Montego Bay, but then we were paying rent. And to this day, I don't drink Milo. I don't eat peanut butter. Because our meals consisted of hot Milo, cold Milo, bun and peanut butter, bread and peanut butter, everything and peanut butter.
Survival.
I hate peanut butter to this day. I do not drink Milo. I add too much of it. Right? But like you say, it's survival. It's survival, right?
Yes.
Because and can I tell you, the apartment we were renting, it was a room we were renting, and we didn't have a stove. All we had, my sister bought a bed and she bought a dresser, and we were just sharing. And we didn't have a stove, like I said, and to get that, to make a cup of tea, there was hot water in the apartment. So we turned on the heater, and that was how we got our tea.
My goodness.
And when I tell you, I don't know if anybody has ever eaten bun and peanut butter. It's not a good thing. And when you eat the bun and peanut butter and you drink Milo, all you can do is turn over and sleep.
My goodness.
I was able to get my experience. I was able to get my experience. And the company went under, and I moved on to a construction company.
Let me ask you a question. As a child, at Lucy Primary, you were enamored by the secretary, whatever her name was. You saw Samuels or whatever her name was.
Samuels, I think she's Miss Samuels.
And you were impressed.
I was so impressed.
Now that you were working in that field, how did you feel about it?
I was getting there. You feel nice now, you feel nice, but at the time I was not exposed to all that a secretary ought to have been.
Okay.
But
okay.
I did not know that then. And so I worked at the construction company for a few years, and then I got a break at Cornwall Regional, 1997.
Stop right there. I want to give us what's it? Splash. So proud of you. It's PLACH. Who is that? Do you know who that is?
No, I don't.
Julia Jackson said, so true. Richard Johnson is on. Just got my shout out from my friend from primary school to now. Proud of you. Beautiful. Then we have Eric Parr. Proud of you. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead now. You're now at Cornwall Regional.
So I went to Cornwall Regional in 1997. When I was working at the construction company, a gentleman who was a licensed electrician, he came to the office and we're just talking, and he suggested that I tried one of the government agencies.
Yes.
Because he was talking about the benefits that were available. And so I said, okay, and I tried. So I went to Cornwall Regional, and I promised myself that I would do just 5 years there.
Okay.
5 years at Cornwall Regional, just to say that Thursday coming will be 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 25 long years.
Wow. Wow.
Right. And that's where I think that you say now you reach. Because at that time, there was the senior secretary at the time. She was a part of an association, Jamaica Professional Secretaries Association, and I went with her to a meeting.
Yes.
And when I tell you that that association grounded me and made me into the person that I truly am.
Wow.
I'm talking about at the time it was Jamaica Professional Secretaries Association, and they had name changes over the years. And in 2001, I was so seasoned in the secretarial field that I entered the Secretary of the Year competition.
Wow.
And I was selected Secretary of the Year for the parish of St. James.
My goodness.
Right?
Wow.
And that was when I said, me reach.
Right, from bad juice.
Me reach, because
Secretary of the Year.
Hey, Secretary of the Year. Right?
Yes. Yes.
And so I went for all island judging, and I remember that day very well because they were talking about the evolution of technology and how the judging was. You go, you stand before the podium. There's a slip of paper on it, and you're supposed to read it. And you have 3 minutes to answer whatever. You have 3 minutes to give a speech.
Yes. Yes.
And I was looking at it, and I'm like, okay. No, I had my thing there, and I was going to speak about telemedicine because this is something that we're looking at, and we're talking about the kidney transplants that we wanted to do, but we didn't have nephrologists here at the time, and so we would have to do telemedicine. So these are some of the things that we wanted to do, and I knew my stuff,
Yes.
When I looked up in the audience, there was nothing. I was blank. I was really blank. And when I tell you that I'm shy, I'm really shy. I'm really shy. But by the time I got my bearings, time would have elapsed. And so I was placed third in the All Island competition. And so that was 2001.
Yes.
And 2002, I was voted most outstanding secretary for St. James. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. What else is there to do? And between that time, I would have done my certified professional secretary designation, as well as my certified administrative professional designation. So I have those two behind my name.
Yes.
Right. And so, I realized that, okay, the only place to be is up. What else is there to do? And so I went, working with the government, for you to be appointed, you have to do a course at MIND. So that's Management Institute for National Development. You have to do that. All right. So I am armed with my certificate in administrative management.
Okay, now.
Right. So this is where it began now. So when I went to MIND, I think I did 6 weeks there, and there was a lady I was boarding with. And after completing MIND, she came to Montego Bay. She was one of the faculty advisors at NCU. And she called me and she said, "Oh, I'm in your town." And the campus, another NCU campus, Montego Bay campus, is right next door to Cornwall Regional. And I went across, I visited with her, and we hung out for a while. But she was there for a couple of days. And the next day she called me and said, she's still there. And I told my boss, give me a few minutes, I'll be back. I said, give me a few minutes, I'll be back. And I lifted up the barbed wire that separated both properties, and I ran underneath it because I was going to enroll in NCU.
My goodness.
I had $0.00. But where there's a will, there's a way. And I went over.
Yes.
And I filled out the application form. And when it was my time to speak with the academic advisor, she was saying, "Okay, this is what you need to do. Do you know where you want to go?" I said, "Okay. I am working in administration now, and I would want to do something along that line."
Right.
And she gave me a little slip of paper, and she's that was a payment plan. And she said, "How you plan to pay the fees?" I'm like, "Huh?" That was, I wanted to enroll, but I don't know where I was going to pay how I was going to pay the fees. But when she gave me the slip of paper, and she said, "How you gonna pay the fees?" I said, "Huh?" And she said, "All right, go over there and sit with the accountant." And I went and I sat with the accountant, and we were going through, and he said, "Okay, this is what you need to do. You need to pay $10,000 every month from your salary, because it's 7 weeks that makes up a module, and by the time that the 8th week come around, then it will be exam. So we can arrange for you to do your exam. You can get an exam pass." So they were able to work with me, and for the 4 years I was at NCU, that was how I worked it.
Oh, wow.
Of course, I had my credit card, but my credit card had sometimes it had $0 and 0 cents too. So it was just in my bag.
Yeah.
But when there was money on it, I was able to swipe it, and that's how I went through NCU. So I finished NCU, but yet there was another calling. What else was there?
Pause 1 second. NCU, what year did you finish NCU?
2010.
Stop right there. I have a few shout outs here. I can't afford to let them go by. Wow. It's burning up right here. Burning up. I can't keep up here. This is so proud of you, girl. That's Eric Parr. The whole gang is here. Camille, that's Denise. Hortense Carrington, so very proud of my baby sister, a young lady on the go, well deserving of the best wishes and honor. And Kyra Ja, so proud of you, Camille. And Parcha Mahabi, yes, the whole Lagwood is here. Then he's going, I'm going to cry. Richard Johnson, then he's doing no crying. This is all inspiration. Ernie Lewing, tears are almost at my eyes too. Patricia Mohammed, and she just paused. Then we have Davian Barham. This day is gone down in history, straight out of Logwood. Proud of you, Rose. Okay? Troy Malcolm, keep it coming, Mr. D and Mrs. Lewing. And Miss Lewing, take us on your journey. I'm loving it. Very inspirational. And Denise Lewing, she just starts something and she don't even go any further. Ernie, I ate bread and banana sandwich to survive at West Indies College. See there? Denise starts something, but she's not writing. She's
probably crying.
Yeah,
she's probably
over.
crying, right?
All we could do was sleep. Okay, Julia Jackson. Someone will be encouraged by your journey motivation. Yes. And Parsha Mabi, this is definitely where one can see your past struggles doesn't define your future. Very inspiration from other young girls. There it is. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're expecting to see. You know, here we go. Now that we have finished NCU 2010, where do we go from here?
10.
Where do we go from here?
I was wondering what's next. Because I realized that there was much more in me. And so I went to my former CEO. He's now at NHF, and I said to him, okay, what next? And he said, what is it that you want to do? I said, I'm here. And a few weeks later, he called me and he said, okay. At the time, I was executive secretary. I was now the executive secretary to the senior medical officer, right? At
Cornwall Regional.
Cornwall Regional, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
That was one of those positions that it was up there.
Yes, yes. Understood,
right?
understood.
And so when he called me, he said to me, the A&E manager is going off for a few weeks. I'm going to send you to the emergency room to act as manager for the emergency room. Do you want it? And I said, yes. And he said, no, you answer too quick. And he said, I was to come down to his office. So I went down to his office and he said, all right, this is the position.
Yes.
He had my file before him and he said, okay, your position as executive secretary the pay is greater than that of the emergency room manager.
Yes.
Because I got a duty allowance. My salary came with a duty allowance. It came with a commuted allowance. So it had little things attached to it.
That they add up, yes.
Right. So it was much more than the emergency room manager. And so he said, it's not going to be much. And I said, yes. And he said, okay, remember this one thing. Whatever it is that you have accomplished and whatever is in your brain in terms of experience, nobody can take it from you. Go there and make your mark. I got not $1 difference, but I got the experience now that I wanted.
Management.
Right?
Yes,
I am in management.
Yes, yes.
And so that was 6 weeks. So, and then, I keep looking for new opportunities, I remember I applied for the position of a hospital administrator. I was not given the position because I think probably they didn't think that I was ready.
Right.
I'm thinking about it now, I probably was not ready, but I wanted the experience of one of those interviews and all of that. But I tried to look for the opportunities where there were.
Yes, yes.
And so that little stint in the emergency room prepared me for a lot of things. And so I was promoted from executive secretary to patient services manager.
Mm.
And I did that for a year. And then the other promotion came, and I was promoted to hospital administrator.
Wow. Wow. What year was that?
I was hospital administrator for 1 year. 1 year.
That's
1 year.
2012
That was
maybe?
2013. 1 year.
Okay.
Yes, 1 year. Because the next year, 2014, I was called. Because what I need to say, when you're doing a job, Mr. Dunkley, when I say you have to give it your all.
Yes, yes.
Right? And it has to be something that you're happy with.
Yes.
It has to be something that you're very happy with, because that's the only way that you are going to achieve your objectives, right? And so when the CEO was moving, he called a few of us into his office and he said, okay, he said, Camille, you are going to be responsible for internal services. And that means the upkeep, the aesthetics of the hospital, because he was of the opinion that if he's coming from anywhere and he needs to use a bathroom, he needs not run to his office to use one. There should be one somewhere along the way. And he challenged us, you know. So we started little projects and he wanted us to continue with them. And so I think I put my all into it. It was hard work, I tell you, you know, because when you're working with government, you know, you can't buy this, you can't buy, you see things that you need to do, but you know you have to go and adhere to the procurement process, procurement guidelines, or your surcharge and all of that. So you have to be guided and you have to be within a certain line, you know. And so sometimes you feel like your hands are tied. Yes. And the things that you want to do, you're not able to do them. And so I did what I could do. And I remember one day I was in my office and I got a call from the then board chairman. He was admitted to the hospital and he was in a room by himself, but there were 2 beds in the hospital, in his room. Yes. And he called me and I was wondering, what now? What now? And
the chairman of the hospital.
Yes. He was the chairman of the Western Regional Health Authority Board.
Wow.
And I'm talking about the entire Western region. I'm talking about Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, Westmoreland.
Wow.
So he called me and I was wondering what went wrong. Because if you're summoned by the big boss, you know, something must have gone wrong. And when I went to his room, he showed me a cobweb under the bed. He showed me a cobweb and I'm like, if this isn't nitpicking, that's what I was thinking at the time. But when I called the housekeeping officer to sort it out, he said to me that I'm not to leave. And his words were, you know, the place was so clean that cobweb was out of place. Cobweb was out of place. And, you know, he was appreciative of that fact. And so a few months later, I was summoned to the regional director's office on a Thursday, and I was told that I would be going to serve the Monday.
What? To do what? To visit?
I was going to go to serve, to cover the desk of the CEO, because somebody had gone into retirement and they were doing some shifting around. And until that time, they were going to, they're sending me there for 6 months.
Hold on, stop right this out. Hold on, right this out. Hold your brakes. Hold on. Wait a second. Let me cover up a couple of them. Here we have Tarsha Campbell. Big up Camille. I'm super proud of you. You are such an inspiration. T. Shaw. Congratulations to my auntie and my unofficial mentors. Some of those stories I don't even know. Any day I feel it's challenging, I'll have to remember how many barriers you overcame to get here. Kyle Tucker. What's it? I can't make out what he wrote here, but Kyle wrote something here. But good. I just want to pause here. There are two things I would like to announce. One, on May 28th, Brosis is having another blue and white affair. It's one of our special occasions we have once per year where we come together. The venue is not yet determined, but it will be announced in due time. But for May 28th, please mark that date. We're going to have a special occasion where we come together in blue and white and celebrate together. And all of this is to build a foundation. On top of that, I just want to remind folks that we do have our block drive. Our block drive is part of our fundraiser to build the big sports complex that we're building for Ruseas. Massive sports complex, sophisticated and advanced. And it's not just sport in mind, but it's a comprehensive project that will finance academic programs within the school. So that's a vision that we have as a foundation. And we have Building Block Drive that helps to sponsor that project. So I'm just putting it out there for those who are not aware of it to look into the possibility of participating in our block drive and also mark the date, May 28th, Memorial Day weekend. We're having a special blue and white affair. You will hear further details about that coming up. So here we are. We are in Savannah Lamar, and you are sent there for a temporary fill-in.
I was sent there for 6 months.
6 months.
The letter said temporary transfer assignment for 6 months, effective February 27 for 6 months.
And you remember it, you remember everything.
Oh, yes.
So let me ask you, just before you start. So you're going there to be the acting CEO.
Right.
And describe the position that you're leaving and then take me into the position that you went into.
I am leaving Cornwall Regional at Type A. If you want to know, if you're speaking nomenclature, you're talking about a Type A teaching facility with a bed capacity at the time of, we had 365 beds, I think, at the time.
Okay.
And I was hospital administrator, so I was in charge of, I remember I was in charge of transport, laundry, security, inpatient services, meaning the wards, customer service. No, customer service was under for a time, but then it was removed. And so that's all of those departments.
So hold on now, when you leave Ruseas, I do housekeeping, when I do like a washing and thing, you realize that was prepared. that was a test, you know. That was a test.
Oh God, it sure was. It sure was.
My goodness, have mercy. Sure you're in charge of the whole of the sitting them. Have mercy. And now you're going to come up.
So then I was sent to SAB. And so at Cornwall, you were only responsible for a few departments.
Okay.
Now I'm going to serve.
Yes, CEO.
And I'm going to be in charge of all departments.
Have mercy.
Oh my God.
Mercy.
Mercy. And I have persons who used to give me pep talk along the way. There were 4 persons I could call on every morning. We're driving down, to keep me focused, to tell me, because now this is a new position. I've never been to SAV before that. Right. So this is this is new in every aspect of the word. This is new territory for me.
Yes.
And so persons who were more seasoned in management, I could call on them and to say, this is what. And so one of the first things, so I was sent to SAV for 6 months. And that was the 27th of February will be 8 years later.
My goodness.
8 years later, right?
Yes.
It has not been an easy journey, I can tell you, in terms of, because I commute daily. And when I say it has not been an easy journey, I'm talking figuratively.
Yes.
And literally.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Because journeying from Montego Bay to South every day, it's taxing. It's taxing in every sense of the word. But I am the kind of person, I want to think that whatever it is that I am doing, there has to be purpose.
Yes.
And if I am doing something, I have to be committed. If I can't give my 100%, I'm not going to take it on. I'm not going to take it on. So persons saw they believed in me.
Yes,
They believed in me, and I could not let them down. And so I did what I had to do.
You know, I can't help but ask you this question, and you don't have to answer it, but it's interesting that such a significant position opened, and many times political attachments help to create opportunities for people. And you came out of nowhere, taken from Cornwall Regional and placed into an institution that you have never been a part of. That's, to me, that's divine. That's not luck at all. That seemed like it's favor from God. It just seemed like something supernatural, the way your path just skyrocketed. It's almost like an exponential growth. And the way you just step by step, and you just kept like a ladder going higher and higher. And somebody is orchestrating a journey for you, strategizing for you, because you could not in your wildest dream have anticipated such a fast track to where you are today. I mean, I can't even imagine. It's like it blows my mind from back juice to now.
If you had asked me 10 years ago,
yes,
if this is where I would be, I would tell you no. However, I never back away from a challenge. I never back away from a challenge. I face it. And you know, interestingly, they call me, in my family, they call me the live wire. I don't know why. They call me the live wire.
I bet they won't tell me why. Yes.
They call me the live wire. Because whatever, anything that I'm doing, like I said, it has to have purpose and it has to have meaning. And if I'm not able to give it my all, then I'm not gonna take it on. And if it is that you have found favor in me, and you have, who am I to doubt myself? If you believe in me, I can't, I shouldn't doubt myself, you know. And so I took it on, you know. And the first thing I did a risk register when I got there, and I think I'm still working from my risk register, and I think that would have, you know, put us where we are in terms of achievements, right? There are so many challenges that come with that little position there. And when I tell you that it has not been easy, it has not been easy. And, you know, sometimes you feel like you want to quit, and sometimes you will ask yourself, why do I drive 53 kilometers one way? I'm talking about, well, sometimes I wasn't even counting it from home, because it's 106 kilometers from Pie River Cemetery back and forth to South. Wow. That's 106 kilometers, and I don't live at Pie River. So if I should chart it, it's probably about 130 kilometers daily. But I do it because I made a commitment.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's a commitment to serve.
Yes.
And if you're going to be of service, then you have to be of good service. And that's how I do it.
Yes, yes. Let me state here that if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Exactly.
It was easy. So when you mention that it's not easy, expected. It is expected. And as a matter of fact, the level of responsibility that you have, I mean, all the departments, every single thing, the buck stops here. It is hard. But then there's no doubt that your track record shows those who have been watching you that you are more than capable, because you have proven over and over and over. And I just want to ask a question. You went there in an acting role for 6 months, and now you are not acting.
No, I'm not.
No, you're not. You're not acting at all. This is a real deal.
This is the real deal.
This is a real deal. And I just want to let you know, I tell you, it is amazing. I am blown away. And I just want to share with you, just here, Julia says, to God be the glory, great things he hath done. I understand in the same situation. I understand in the same situation, the Lord will lead you in the right path. And Cairo Jan, big up yourself from Great Ones group class of 86. Kim Swaby said that. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Ernie Lewin,
Right.
May 28th, that's your birthday, right, Rose? What a birthday party Ruseas is planning for you. Yes, May 28th, that's your birthday?
That's my birthday.
Then look at that. Hortense Campbell, of course, Hortense Campbell saying, of course, God was in it. Just want to let you know.
He was.
Yes, yes. And then Julia says, amen. And then Hortense says, because you are Terrier. Okay, you might know what that is. And then Erwin says, others affirm glad giftedness to you. Yes, others affirm it. They can see it. And your work speaks volume for who you are. The quality of what you do. It doesn't happen by accident.
Not by accident.
No, they see the product and they recognize that there's more to come. And here we are today. So what is your day like now?
My day starts at 5 every morning, because I try to leave home by 7. I try to leave home by 7 because I time myself. I need to get to work by 8:30.
Yes.
Because I believe that I must not be late.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because if you're leading, you need to lead by example. And so when you say what is my birthday like, I can tell you what the time, well, my birthday does not end at 5, right? We're on the clock, straight around round the clock every day of the week.
That's right.
24 hours of the day. So
Yeah.
you sometimes by 1, 2 o'clock, you'll be hearing they'll call, and you have to answer. You have to answer because, that call can say, makes the difference between life and death, right? You talk about transfers, you talk about putting systems in place, because we talk about this. There is no day that or no system that is free of errors, because of course it's humans that controls it, right?
Right.
And so no matter what systems you put in place,
Yes.
there's a chance that there are going to be errors, and you have to be there to sort it out. And so my day, I will say, okay, this is what I'm going to do today. And by the time I get to the office, it changes because the landscape changes,
Right.
So you have to work with what you have there.
Yes.
And you'll say, okay, tomorrow I'll go back to it. It never happens. So we talk about meetings in and out. So that's pretty much what the day is like. There are days when you say, okay, I've had enough. But then you look at your accomplishments, and you look at the things that you want to accomplish, because you have to do what we do, a 5-year plan. And you have to be working on them, and what you did not accomplish, you have to put it forward. And so until you have things that you're always working on. So sometimes when you want to quit, you think about what it is that you're trying to do, and the difference you're trying to make in the lives of others that you serve.
Yes.
So quitting is not an option.
Yes. So let me ask you a couple of questions now. What is your official title today?
Camille Lewin, Chief Executive Officer. Lamar Public General Hospital.
Who do you report to?
I have a parish manager. So I'm responsible for the hospital, but my parish manager is responsible for 20 health centers and the one hospital. But then we report to a regional director. So we both report, but she is direct report and indirect report.
So in other words, at the hospital, you do not report to anybody at the hospital?
My parish manager.
Got it.
Parish manager, but right.
Got it. Understand. Wow. In a perfect world, what next? You don't have to answer it.
What next?
Because your journey doesn't stop. Your journey doesn't stop.
I'm wondering because just before coming on, I said to Carlin and I said to Troy before, because they've been trying to reach me, and but I had exams. I'm actually doing a course in, what is it, healthcare professional leadership training. Yes. Right. That's done through UTech. It's a Ministry of Health course. Yes. And we are the first cohort, so we are probably the guinea pigs. But it's long. We're talking about from 4 p.m. to sometimes 8 p.m. Okay. Right. But learning is never ending. Right. There is so you have let us say I have a squad, and if I don't speak of them, yes, I know they're gonna have me. So we have a group. We have a group of class of 88. It started, Richard started the group, but along the way, some persons fell off, but some of us continued. Yes. The journey. Yes. And when I tell you, whatever it is that I'm doing, Mr. Dunkley, it has to have purpose. So if I'm getting up to go downtown, I have to have a reason to go downtown. And so, yes, we have a WhatsApp group, and we just don't talk and make fun. And so we took on, we have projects that we have taken on. One, we have helped students from Ruseas where there's a need. We bought laptop and computer for 2 students, and there was a fellow classmate, his son has some difficulties paying for his exams, so he's C6, and I think we paid for at least 5 subjects for him. Nice. So it's something that you see a need, you know. There's a saying that when you help someone, you may not be able to change the world, but you're able to change the world for one person. Nice. And that's what we tried to do. So, nice. So there are about 13 of us in the group, and it's a group that has purpose, I must say. Beautiful, beautiful. Yes. Where do I go? So that's there's one project that I want to look at the hospital. And I remember we were talking about volunteerism, and we're talking about the need to guide persons, because very often we put them on a path and there is no guidance. And I know for certain that I have conducted interviews, and I observe the shortcomings. And what we realize is that when the schools have career, they'll invite us, but they ask for the mainstream careers like the doctor and the nurse and the pharmacist, but there are so many other careers in the hospital. And so what we want to do is a level of exposure. We want to expose, you know, because you realize that the information that the school has or the students have, it's limited. It's limited. And so what you realize, they come to an interview. For instance, there's a student, she came for an interview. We were seeking customer service representatives at the time. And I think she just wanted a job because she wanted to pursue a career in medical technology. Okay. And when she came to the interview, she had, I think, 8 units of CAPE.
Okay.
And about 10 CSEC subjects.
Mm.
And when we asked her, you know, what's her career path, she wanted to be a medical technologist. No, to earn all those subjects, she would have completed 5th form, upper 6, lower 6, upper 6. No, to go into that field, just having completed 5th form, she would have matriculated.
Yes, for customer service, yes.
Or for the medtech position, because it does not require at the time.
Yes.
So these are the little things that you need to guide them.
Yes.
So we're talking about, I don't have a problem with persons wanting to learn, but if this is the way you want to go, then somebody ought to be nurturing you and guiding you. So we want to have that career there where we expose the community, you know, the learning community to all the careers that are available in health.
So here's a story right now. According to certain sources I have, you would have normally been sleeping because you get up early in the morning. So what I'm going to do is the next couple minutes, I'm going to ask some general questions because we are so excited for what you have done for us tonight and for you just sharing your journey with us. I want to share a couple comments that are here, and then I'm going to close with a couple questions, and then we'll take it from there. We have here, Sonia C says, extremely inspiring. Collis Lawson, Camille is a gentle giant, little but Talawa. Aldine Morris, proud of you. And we have Kiss, Bless Up Troy. So that's that here. Just looking back over your journey, identify 2 of the most moving experiences you have had as you reflect on your journey from the struggling years to where you are today. 2 of the most moving, to the point of overwhelming experiences that you can recall.
Moving.
Like they take your breath away. In terms of for example, bag juice engineer, okay, to laundry specialist, to where you are today. Talk to me.
I can't end this this session without I'm not certain if Miss Thompson is online.
Take your time, take your time.
And I get emotional.
That's okay, take your time.
Because even though I did not want to do food and nutrition, Miss Thompson was there with me. And I remember clearly the day before that food and nutrition exam. And she said to me, listen now, because I think she understood my situation.
Mm-hmm.
She understood my situation. And she said to me, all right, you're going to stay by me tonight. Just in case you're not able to come back to school to do that exam. And I think, you see, when you doubt yourself, there is always somebody that has faith in you.
Yes.
That's looking out for you, right?
Yes.
There's a higher being.
Yes.
There's always somebody there that's looking out for you.
Yes.
That was one. That is one of the most outstanding moments. And I'm gonna share this with you. My siblings probably are hearing this for the first time. And my friend Callis, she just called me a gentle giant. My mother died in 2015. And I'm sure you heard my brother say, enough away.
Yes, yes.
But I am the smallest. And then when I say smallest, I'm talking smallest. My height is just 5 feet. That's where I'm at. But I use things to prop it up, not to bother. But and I think they consider me to be a very strong person, and they were not aware of it. And I'm going to share it because I literally broke down after my mother died. But then they did not know this because I had to be strong for them because they were weak. I can tell them no, they were weak, and they'll admit that they were weak. So I was the one who planned everything for the funeral, for everything. But my friend Callis was with me from the day she died until probably about 3 weeks later. But they did not know this. They do not know this. And probably this is the first because I got to the point where I wore one dress to work 2 days straight. My clothes was back and front, and my matron had to take me into the bathroom to turn it around and tell me, all right. And I think I hit rock bottom.
Wow.
I hit rock bottom. But then, yes, they're thinking I'm strong and they believe in me. And so I have to be that person, but it does not mean that I'm not human.
Yes.
I'm still human.
Yes.
But when you have a supportive team and you have a team that's believing in you, professionally and personally,
yes.
You can only go from strength to strength.
Wow.
So those
are wow. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing that with us, because that's good, and that's keeping it real. Keeping it real. Oftentimes people see you where you are, but if they have no idea what your journey has been, they can't fully appreciate who you are as a human being. And as you said, people see you leading and they expect that you don't have emotions, you don't have needs, but not knowing that you will cry just like anybody cry. Blood runs through your veins just like anybody else. So thank you for the strength to be able to share that. And I do believe that it's an eye-opener for those who see you as the giant, not realize that even the giant will cry at times. I have to share this. Sylvester Carrington, I'm sure that in your position, COVID-19 has shown you what you're truly made of and how tough and resilient you really are. Denise says, what about JIN? So you might know what that is. Richard.
That's my cat, and I'm not going there with her tonight, Mr.
Okay,
Dunkley.
He's taking you on another journey. Richard Johnson says, big up Doreen Thompson. Yes. Jussie 101, here for you, my aunt. Your daughter is here. Okay? And Ernie Lewin, you are the strong one. Okay, that's your brother. Troy says, thank you, Mrs. Thompson. You are a special humanitarian. We need more people like you. Hortense Carrington, God kept you as strong as you needed to be. Praise him. Okay?
Right.
Listen to me. I want to say this to you. On behalf of the Ruseas Brosis Foundation, we are thrilled. I've heard about you long before I met you. And you remember our conversation last week. The conversation that was supposed to be a hi, hello. We took a journey together. And I was inspired just by talking. I couldn't wait for tonight. You are an amazing human being and so impactful. In the short space of time, what you have accomplished have proven that not everybody starts at the same time and the same place. I would call you, in terms of the academic world, a late bloomer.
Yes.
You are what we would call it.
Indeed.
And you have defied the statistics, you have defied the odds, because most people who didn't get that big push during high school tend to just get into a little hole and stay there. You refuse to settle. And from bag juice to laundry to chief executive officer, that's a book that needs to be written. and I say that with clarity, prophetically, that book needs to be written, because there's so many people who will give up for so much less trying situation than you have been through. But you stood your ground, and as you said, where there's a will, there's a way. And your work speaks volume for who you are, because it's not accidental that you kept going progressively forward, going progressively upward. Your work speaks volume for you. Whatever you put your hand to seemed to turn to gold, and that's why others looked out for you. I want to say to the family members, your presence tonight speaks volume to how much you love your sister and your family and your friend. This is it. This is what it is. And not to mention the Brosis Foundation, we are honored, we are privileged to be able to share in this moment. It is now on record, permanently documented, that you are one of our superstars. You did not know, but we have our Ruseas Brosis Hall of Fame and Walk of Fame. Wow. And your star has been established tonight, and we'll get a chance to show you the star. But thank you so much, and we, like I said to you, we are your cheerleaders.
Thank you so much.
You know, even those who never met you before are cheering for you, and there are more to come. There are more to come, and in what you're doing, you're actually saving lives and transforming lives. And that's the greatest gift we can ever give to humanity. Right. You're a blessing, a powerful blessing. And for all those who tuned in tonight, on the behalf of the Ruseas Brosis Foundation, we want to remind you that on May 28th, Camille's birthday, we're going to have our Blue and White Affair, a special event that we'll be having, and it's going to be a fundraising event, but it's also a celebration event that will highlight Ruseas and what we can also do to enhance Ruseas. Then also, I just want to remind us of our building block fund that we're promoting. Check it out and see what you can do to be a part of that massive project that we have to build something that will sustain the academic and athletic programs that we have at Ruseas. Once again, on behalf of the Ruseas Brosis Foundation, the president and the administrative team, Ms. Camille Lowen, and all the Lowen posse, we thank you so much for sharing this beautiful evening with us. And you were inspirational, you were motivational, and you were just amazing. And your story continues. Once again, thank you and congratulations. Any last word you'd like to share with your family and your friends?
Yes, sir. Just let me paraphrase something from Bob Marley. It says, the greatness of a man is not defined by the amount of wealth he has accomplished, he has acquired, but because of his greatness and the way he has impacted the lives of others around him positively. Yes. Live good, love God.
Yes, could not be said better. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening, okay?
Thank you so much for having me. Good.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. All the best.